make good movies. Make a point of making really, really good movies. And this will change your life very fast when you start doing this. When you start consciously creating positive movies in your head, your life will completely transform.
Powerful, Susie. Hola from Ibiza for another edition of Café Diem with your host, Michelle Reed, and my esteemed guest coming all the way from the hub in the center of the island, Susie Pearl. How are you today?
Good morning.
It's nice to meet you. Zoom. How are you doing? Good?
Good, really good. Yeah,
Good.
really good.
Awesome. So for those of you who don't know Susie, she is an author, a podcaster, and a writer, and she writes about creativity, positive living, and keeping happy. So a perfect guest to have on Café Diem. Another thing that we should know about Susie is that she's a survivor of brain cancer, and she was told that she had 6 weeks to live in 2018, and against all odds, she recovered, and here she is today, coming to talk to us about her new book and a few things that have been going on for her in 2020. So welcome to the cafe, Susie. I really appreciate you being here.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
I'm really excited because there's a few things that I've been missing from my life. Number one, visualization and journaling. And I just can't make them a habit. And I'm excited to have an expert guest on who can help me make them a habit.
They're both very important things.
100%. But before we get started, I ask all my esteemed guests, what's brewing? So what's in your mug this morning, Susie?
My mug is what's in there every morning. I love coffee. I absolutely love it. I drink decaf con avena with oat milk, and I just love it. I have two. We have a cafe where I work, and I go and order two when I walk in, and they just make me two because I have two, and then that's it for the day. So
I love it. Cool. And do you always have it in that little cup? Is that the cafe?
Yeah, a little cup. It just has to feel quite right. Yeah.
Cool. So do you have a mug that you bring to the hub yourself? Or
I do, actually, yeah. I have a bright red mug, which is every time I look at it, it gives me joy. So I use it for my writing. I use my kind of cups of tea and drinks as sort of markers to when to have a break. And so I'll drink some tea, and then when it's done, I'll have a break and walk around for a while.
Cool. Generally a bathroom break, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How much water do you drink with your coffee?
A lot. Yeah, I always have a jar of good water with me as well, and make sure that I drink two lots of that. So hydration is really important. It's part of and one of the important things of feeling well and being well is to, food is medicine. It's I think we underrate the power of what we put into our bodies, both in terms of visuals and images, and in terms of food and drinks. We have to be, for me, it's top priority.
Totally agree. People don't realize that actually, like you say, what we consume actually becomes us, right?
Yeah, it becomes your cells, it becomes your molecules, it becomes your thoughts, and it becomes your frequency. So I'm all about frequency and vibration, and I know that on a physics level, we are a bunch of cells someone called it a box of bones. Some guru I was listening to yesterday, a beautiful old Indian man, was talking about having your box of bones. But that's kind of what we are, is a body of bones, and we have to make those from really good materials. If we're building on rubbish cement or rubbish land, we're not going to be able to live our best life. So I'm a great proponent of eating well and eating consciously. Cool. When we apply our awareness and consciousness to what we eat, the body is so brilliantly designed to know exactly what chemicals to produce. So when we smell food and we look at food, immediately there's like tons and tons of information going into the brain about what's needed to synthesize that. So I'm a big fan of conscious living, conscious eating.
Cool. I like it a lot. And I 100% agree with that. So that's very, very cool. So on that note, Susie, how has your well-being changed this year?
Well, this year has been the roller coaster for all of us, of course. And I think it's allowed me to go inside a lot more. be reflective and have more introspection about what I'm doing. And when all of the pizzazz is taken away, the friends, the parties, the dancing and everything, and you're left with you, you know, and you have to kind of really examine who you are and who you want to become. So for me, it's really been a great exercise in learning how to be with myself. And I learned a lot during that process. I decided to be happy through that process. I decided not to be a complainer or a campaigner. Even though I feel passionately about things, I believe that the correct way of rebuilding new paradigms is about creating solutions and presenting ideas around what we can do rather than fighting what exists. That, for me, that doesn't work, and it's a very negative approach. So I thought a lot about how I want to be. I wrote a book during lockdown, which is you have spoken about, and I did a lot of creative work. I think a lot of people have been leaning into creativity during this time and finding that creativity brings them joy, which I, you know, as a writer on creativity, an expert on creativity, I completely agree with that.
Cool. Was this actually written during lockdown?
Well, I finished it. Yeah, I had to go through the proofs during lockdown. So there's a lot of, once you've written a book, you send it off to the publisher, it comes back. I think we did like 4 rounds of edits. And so it was those rounds that I was doing during lockdown. So I was very focused. And I had my office room overlooking some mountains, really pretty. And I just sat and really focused. Cool. There was nothing else to do. There was no shopping. There was no, I don't like shopping anyway, but there was no place to go. I had to really, every morning I woke up, I knew what I had to do, which was the book. So it was kind of good. Cool. I had some focus.
And to be honest, this, I mean, it came at a fantastic time, but this would have been fantastic for everybody that owned during lockdown.
Yeah. And it still
never
is.
Too late, though. Exactly, never too late.
A lot of people are still in lockdown. A lot of people giving it as Christmas gifts because it gives you really good ideas. A lot of people, I mean, my belief is that we are all creative. People say to me, oh, I'm not that creative. Actually, sorry, you are. And it's often education that has made us feel we're not very, you know, whatever. When I was at school, for example, my English teacher would consistently give me Fs, fails, on my writing. And who knew then I'd become a best-selling author? You know, like, thanks, but no, I won't believe that. So we mustn't believe what people tell us. And we have inside ourselves this incredible spirit and ability to connect with ideas. And how do you do that? You go inside, you spend some inner time. And there's no greater time for us to all do that than when we get locked down or in quarantine.
Yeah, no, I like that. Which then brings me on to another question. Susie Pearl's fundamentals of self-care. What are some of the things that you prize dearly for self-care?
I like routines because then you remember to do stuff. You know, the day can fly by, but if you have a routine, I like to meditate in the morning, take vitamins, have a juice, have my coffee, and make a plan. The night before, I've made a plan about what I want to do the following day. I have a calendar and diary that I work with, but basically most evenings before I go to bed, excuse me, I have a look at my list and make a list for what I want to create, because I'm all about the fact that, you know, we're amazing manifesting machines. To manifest well, you have to be clear about what you want and have clarity around that. So I think for me, it's really good to think about what it is I want and where I want to go. And then I've got a good chance of getting there.
Cool. Awesome. And does it change on a Sunday? So self-care Sunday, or is it kind of...
Yeah, the weekend. So I work during the week very hard. When I mean very hard, I don't really work at all because I love what I do, but I show up to my craft regularly. And then Saturday and Sunday I have off completely. And I always go walking in nature with friends, eat great food, hang out, laugh, go by the sea for a walk. We're very lucky in Ibiza to be able to do that. I realise a lot of people haven't got that. But I think a walk in nature, wherever you are, you know, in most cities they have green spaces, is very important. And when you're with nature, the body just de-stresses. Nature has a frequency. It's a healing frequency. It's a very calming frequency. So for people who say to me, I feel very anxious, I say, go for a walk in nature, breathe, and do some exercise of some sort, activity of some sort. So my self-care is about eating well, thinking well, sleeping well, having good people around me, no toxicity, no toxic conversations, thanks. And that serves me really well, actually.
Awesome. I love it. I firmly agree. And I think that's fantastic. Great little pearl of wisdom there when it comes to self-care, Susie. Incredible. Okay, now Maverick. We look at habit number 6, be a maverick. Yeah. Which is interesting. The reason why this called to me is because when I was working for a denim company in Levi's, my boss told me I was a maverick. And so maverick for me is something that I've if I could just give the definition from the book, which is from the Cambridge English Dictionary, a person who thinks and acts in an independent way, often behaving differently from the expected or usual way, which for me sums me up.
Sums you up. If someone says you're a maverick, I say, oh, thanks.
Totally.
I've always worked with mavericks. My career was around celebrities and doing PR and big music events like the MTV Awards. And, I've worked with people, I represented Madonna and people like this. Madonna's company is called Maverick Productions. She's a classic maverick. Doesn't really care what people think, goes off, does her own thing, breaks the rules, unexpected, swings and decisions like, we're doing this now. Oh, I thought we were doing that. No, now we're doing this. Now we're doing this. And it's great because it just is innovation. It's creative. It's moving and keeping moving. I think in modern day business and modern day work world, being a maverick is very, very useful indeed. If I was doing another big company or a small company, in fact, and hiring people, I would be looking for people who running the company who could operate on a maverick basis, i.e., they don't follow what's gone before. They're trail makers. They make new decisions in different ways. And this is the key of keeping up. Look at 2020. My word, we've got to really change the way we do everything. 9 to 5 no longer exists out there. People are trying to go back to that, but it's changed forever. Working worlds have changed forever. People don't want to be judged by showing up at 9:30 and leaving at 5:30. That's not how to get the job done. To get the job done, you turn up without referencing the clock. You turn up without referencing enclosed parameters. And you turn up with an expanded consciousness and awareness and thinking about new ways to do things.
I like it. I've never actually heard maverick mindset before. So I'm definitely going to adopt that because I believe that's what I have.
Yeah, maverick mindset is great. I write about it in the book at length. It's one of people's favorite chapters because I think it appeals to those who want to lean into creativity, to break some rules, do things differently, make some changes. I think that appeals to all of us as human beings, doesn't it?
It does. It really, really does. And that was definitely one of my favorites. And it really, really called to me the benefits of being a maverick for sure. Yeah. You're never boring when you're a maverick, that's for sure.
No, people never know what to expect. People say, we never know what to expect with you. My answer to that is good.
Yeah.
That makes me really happy. Thank you.
It's just the same as when somebody says that you've changed and you're like,
well, exactly. I was just going to say exactly the same reference. In relationships, when it's heading downhill and they go, you've really changed. The answer is, yeah, of course. I'm a human being. Thank God.
Yeah.
If you don't change, life becomes stifling. Your body changes all the time. It's in creating billions of processes that are happening constantly. We're changing, and it's one of the laws of the universe, the hermetic laws of the universe. Law 1, everything moves, everything changes, and indeed it does, and we've got to learn to embrace that. You've got to flex with it. If you don't flex with change, you break. We know how it works. If you have something that's very rigid and inflexible and is under a lot of pressure, breaks. When you flex and you go with it, then it becomes malleable and then it works. So my recommendation is be flexible.
Totally. And interestingly as well, as you mentioned at the beginning, was like the sooner that you can accept that change and just go with the flow, the better it is as well, right? So trying to hold on to something that just no longer serves you or no longer works.
And don't be afraid of change. I'm very spiritual in my practice, which means that I believe there's a bigger force. organizing us and helping us and guiding us. Change for me is always good. So I look at something, if a big door slams in my face, metaphorically, I'm like, good, that saved me from something. You don't get the job you wanted. Good. Something better is there. And that's not just hippie speak. That's truth. For me, that's universal truth. We have a set of circumstances that come into our life to guide us in a direction that we've chosen to go based on our beliefs, our programs, how we see the world, how we choose to emanate what we want. And we are a gigantic manifesting machine. So when we think clearly about what we want, you know, inevitably you get guided. Yesterday, I was walking along and I was thinking about a problem I had to solve, and just out of nowhere, someone I know popped up and solved the problem. And I went, oh, yeah, thanks. But, you know, this happens to all of us almost daily in many cases, where you bump into someone or you hear something on the radio or you read something and you go, yeah, that has given me a bit of information I needed to go forwards on something. Take notice of this. Now, I think it's great to write down synchronicities and events that surprise you. Once you start filtering for this and having a mindset of surprising things happen to me, guess what? More and more happens. So start thinking about the gorgeous synchronicities that happen, the gorgeous coincidences that happen. In my book, there are no coincidences. You know, incredible things happen for a good reason. And bad things happen for a reason. Now, one of the things I learned in lockdown was, well, many things, you know, we were all under pressure in different ways. You couldn't see family, you couldn't see friends, work, world went upside down. These are challenges that we need to respond to in a positive way. And it also gives us, as human beings on this planet, the chance to reset, reprogram, and do things differently. Because sure as hell, the way we had structured things before were not working. Politically, not working. Socially, not working. Mental health, not working. And we need to change that. And I think the whole lockdown experience caused the world to be stopped, to reset, to think about, okay, how do we restructure now? Now we have complete reset time. We have to think about how do we go forwards. People go, oh, I want to go back to normal. No, we don't want to go back to normal. It wasn't working. Normal was shit. Normal did not work. It caused a lot of stress. We were working on a model in society that does not work. Chasing money, working too hard, not leaning into friends, not developing proper, authentic relationships. We need to change that. As human beings, it's our duty to get creative with the way we restructure or newly structure our new world ahead.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I like it. And something was interesting that you just brought up was writing down the synchronicities. So which again brings me into something that I feel like I'm lacking in my life, which is actually making journaling and visualization a habit.
Yeah.
And that is, I believe that is habit number 2 in your book. So quite important to you as a writer. So
yeah, it is. I mean, when we write things down, extraordinary things happen. And I'm talking about writing by hand. I'm not talking about sitting on a keyboard. Very important to think about it in terms of having a blank page book that is solely for this purpose, by a lovely blank journal, which is basically a page with a book with blank pages, and you sit with a pen or a pencil and you write down what's going on in your head without editing it and without feeling like anyone else is going to read it. This is for you. It's not like, oh, I need to produce a great piece of writing. No, that's not the point. What you're doing is writing down what's in here and just offloading, and you're creating space in your mind. So it's like having a computer. When the memory gets full on your computer, it gets stuck. You know, programming stops working and crashes. Same with our brain. When we get overstimulated with too much information that isn't processed correctly, we can drive ourselves insane. So journaling every day allows that unconscious aspect of our minds to come through, and ideas will pop up that you didn't even know you had. So start writing. Write about 3 pages. The great Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way, which is a very influential book for many, many artists and creators in this world. She writes about morning pages. To get up, to get up, start writing 3 I think she said foolscap, which is like 3 A4 size pieces of paper about just stuff, whatever. And you'll find by doing this, you are emptying all the noise, allowing your brain to have freedom and air. And also it's a great opportunity to see what happened yesterday, for example, and how that joining the dots on events that normally we would not bring awareness to. Mm-hmm. It's extremely useful. Makes you calmer, more relaxed, lose anxiety, get clear, get focused on what you do want, and gives you an enormous amount of freedom in your mind.
Okay. And because I used to have a diary when I was younger, as most young women did. But I just haven't been able to get into the journaling. Even during lockdown, my partner, he wrote down every day. So he's got a lockdown diary. I tried to do it, but I think what I did is I waited till I was going to bed. By that point, it's like, I'm just like ready to
go to sleep. Too tired. You know, morning journaling is good. Mm-hmm. Also, the ego will stop you doing it because it heals you. It gets you stronger. It gets you clearer, and it takes you out of your current situation. It's a real manifestor kicker, journaling. And your ego doesn't want you to change. Its job is to keep you exactly as you are, to keep you safe, keep you protected in your little bubble. So think of journaling as being blasting out of your bubble, getting things moving in your life, creating new energy, new thought waves, new patterns. Mm-hmm. What many people don't know is that thoughts are magnetic. And what you think about, you will attract those experiences into your life. This is a familiar notion for some people, but not everyone. It amazes me when people start talking to me negatively about stuff. I think to myself, you don't know how your words are so powerful and will create around what you're talking about. And you're framing everything negatively about what's going wrong. And you will be making your life so much worse by talking in this way. If you flip it around, it's a linguistic technique, an NLP technique. You turn it around and you put back what you do want. The brain doesn't register negatives. So if you go, oh, I'm broke, I have no money, your brain is going to take that as an instruction. So don't do it. That's my advice.
Fascinating. I like it. And just sort of that work into the visualization as well. So writing down what I would like to see in the future or now or today. Is that how the visual?
Yeah. So you're writing down urges that come up. So we have like these impulses through our neurons. When we get rested and have a pen and have freedom to write whatever we want, it will allow these deep, think of it as under the bonnet, ideas and thoughts and feelings. They can pop through and come up into realization. And that is one of the most powerful things of being a human being, is to use the huge depths of our unconscious mind, which is infinitely powerful. If you read some of the science on how powerful our mind is that we're finding now, you would use it more consciously and with more power behind you if you realize how powerful you are. And we are incredibly powerful as human beings. It's very, very important that we set our GPS in the direction you want to go. If you're traveling to see a friend tomorrow and you don't know quite where they live, you'll set your GPS. That GPS will direct you to where you want to go. If you say, I'm going to see my friend Sarah tomorrow, but I don't know where she lives, you will never get there because you don't know where you're going. Mm-hmm. So it's the same with life. We have to put markers on the ground of what we do want. I coach a lot of people. Mm-hmm. When I first start coaching people, I say, what do you want, actually? And their eyes roll up and they start to think. And I think, oh, my God, you haven't actually thought about this until now. We are happily bumbling through life, catching meetings and going to school, taking kids to school, whatever the thing is, without actually thinking about what am I doing here? What do I want to be doing? And so we kind of get bounced around and we don't really have a plan. You've got to have a plan. So my role in coaching is asking good questions, getting people to really think about good, situations that they want to be in and define what that looks like and then start visualizing about it. Whatever we visualize, I'm writing a book at the moment about creative visualization. I think it's one of the most important principles, and it's part of the ancient wisdom. When you read any of the ancient texts and wisdom around the Mayans and the Egyptians and all of these secret societies, it's based around the concept that whatever you visualize you are bringing forth into your realms, as it were. So we've got to get good at visualization. Many people don't even know what that is. What is visualization? In the center of your third eye, usually this is the place where we have like a cinema screen. So in a moment, we're going to do some more work on this if you like. But you close your eyes and you're creating images. You're like a movie director. You're making movies in your mind. Make good movies. Make a point of making really, really good movies. And this will change your life very fast when you start doing this. When you start consciously creating positive movies in your head, your life will completely transform.
Powerful, Susie.
Yeah, it
really
is.
Powerful.
It's one of the most powerful things you can do. Cool. We've already touched on eating. Eating is good, nourishing food is really important. Speaking what you intend to happen in a way that whatever your words are, that will happen in your life. You will bring that in. People go, oh, that's new age, bullshit. Actually, it's not. Quantum physics and new science is showing us that these ideas that we create have with them this very strong magnetic force. So inevitably, we're like a magnet. As we're walking along, we're magnetizing, bringing things to us. And the frequency that we're giving out, we're going to be getting friends on the same level and so on. That's how it's working. Think of yourself as a moving magnet.
Okay, I like it. Which then brings us to another very important habit, which is meditation. So I'm unfamiliar with what specifically transcendental meditation is. Is there something more?
Well, it's a mantra-based meditation. I tried many meditations, and it was transcendental, which is called TM, that really spoke to me.
Okay.
When I started doing TM, my life had just collapsed. My relationship had bust. Had a small child to look after. I was running my own company with like 50 people relying on what I did every day. And I didn't feel like doing anything. I felt like my world had ended. So I was in pretty much chaos at that time. And a friend of mine told me that she did TM. And she was a disabled artist who had a lot of challenges in her life. And she was one of the happiest people I knew. And I thought, okay, it's working for you. So I learned TM. And for the moment I did, it was a really powerful force in my life. And it is definitely the most important skill I have ever learned. There are many ways to meditate. It doesn't matter which way you get in. It's all the same. It's not all the same. But you end up going inside yourself. You go into the inner world, which is where it all happens. It's like it's the machine. It's the workroom of what's going on in your energetic and human life. It's all going on inside yourself. So when you have a better relationship with what's going on, you can hear that little intuition, that little voice inside that we all have that talk to us all the time. It might be saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You can't do this. You're not good enough for this. Oh, you might, something bad might happen. There's all these little voices. The thing is to tune in to a good one, tune into your intuition, and tune into one that's loving and supportive, and remodel that inner voice from a moany, criticizing or fearful or anxious voice. Make it a nicer one. Would you want your inner voice to be your friend? Yeah. So the thing is, we can change the nature of our inner voice. When I did NLP, I learned all these techniques. That's really useful. We can all do it. There's nothing magical, although it is slightly magical. But we can all do it. And basically you identify what kind of voice you've got, where it's coming from. And imagine you've got a mixing desk in your mind and you can change the tonality, the roughness, the softness, the empathy, the sympathetic aspects of that inner voice and have a different world as a result.
Wow. Again, powerful. If people are very fearful right now, if they're feeling stressed and anxiety ridden, would you suggest transcendental meditation is something that they should be looking into? Or?
Yeah, any meditation. Okay. I mean, to do TM, you have to learn from a teacher who is certified. Okay. That's how I learned. And I'm been working with the David Lynch Foundation for many years, and they are on a mission to get TM out around the world to at-risk groups and people who can't access it. So I'm helping them to get that out to the world. I'm a great believer that this can change the world in a very positive way. If you want to learn meditation, go to a meditation group or class. For TM, you need to go to a specific TM teaching group, or go to any meditation group and join in. It's not difficult, it's free, it's natural, and it's one of the best de-stressors on the planet.
Okay.
If you learn to meditate, you will get more ideas, more creative, lose anxiety, lose fears, and get very clear about who you are and where you want to go. It's brilliant.
Cool.
And everyone can do it.
Awesome. If you were to give us maybe a few moments, just a few minutes of just setting a bit of an setting the stage for somebody who might be, again, feeling a bit fearful, a bit stressed, a bit anxiety ridden, just take us through, in your way, another Susie Pearl of wisdom, a little bit of meditation, if you will, if you have time.
Why don't we do a little meditation? And don't be put off by the word meditation if you don't do it now and think, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can, because I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and I'm going to guide you on exactly what you need to do, and you're going to get feelings of what meditation feels like. How's that?
I love that. Please. Thank you.
Okay. So I'd like to invite you to put your feet on the floor and close your eyes for a moment. And take a breath in. Hold it at the top and let it go. And gently you'll bring your awareness to your breath. And as you breathe, your awareness goes deep inside. You're no longer thinking about what's out there. You're paying attention to what's inside. And slow down the breath. Let the shoulders relax. So bring awareness to you. Give yourself 100% of your focus. Notice that you are inside your body. Become aware of your breathing and the movements that happen when you breathe. Slowing everything down. For now, you don't need to think about your to-do list or what you have to do next. You are here. You're showing up present in this moment. And it's an invitation to get slow, to notice what's going on within your body, and to know that you have total control and management over how you feel moment by moment. And feel some relief as you breathe. And if you have been experiencing anxiety and fear, as many millions of people have this year, for example, so allow the mind to detach from external ideas, thoughts, worries, problems, and just bring yourself in this moment to the moment of now. And connect with this stream, let's call it spirit, this life force that you have that drives you through moment by moment through your life. And notice that this stream has infinite power, infinite capability, and can guide you onto your best journey if we just listen to it, pay attention to it, and ask it to guide us. So allow every cell and molecule in the body to relax. In your mind's eye, and your mind's eye for many people is in the center of the forehead. This is the place where if I ask you to think of what is the color of your front door, you will go to this place, visualize your front door to be able to identify the color. It's this place that is the window into where we visualize and create imagery. And make a note to improve and make positive the imagery that you create day by day. This is life-changing and transforming. Allow the voice that happens inside your head to upgrade, to become soft, beautiful, on your side, helping you, encouraging you, supporting you at all times. And know that you have the power to overcome any issues that are going on in your life. You can take the learnings and you can move on with positive expectations. You connect with the breath now. Now, just notice where your feet are on the floor and connect to the ground. Imagine coming up the soles of your feet are roots that go deep down into the soil of the earth. And from this soil, you're going to collect all the nutrients, all of the things that Mother Earth has available is going to come in, back in through your feet, through the roots, coming down, coming through your feet and bring it up through your body. And imagine that you're going to build all the resources you need for living your life in a state of calm, peace, and creativity. Imagine what your life will be like and what it's like now. When peace reigns, everything is considered perfectly unfolding in time as it should. And that you can arrange a new narrative to the way that you view life and you view yourself in your life. And let's give you powerful resources of courage, the feeling of downloading courage, positivity, wellness, positive imaginings, positive imagination. And that you can run your mind more powerfully than ever before by thinking about things in the way that you want them to unfold. Without any fear, without anxiety. We're not meant to be in fear. That is not how we are designed. To give out more compassion, more kindness, and help others, this is the way to feel better, to feel stronger. Give the things that you want away to others. If you want to feel more courageous, more satisfied, more complete, you have more in your life. If you want to feel that, give it to other people. Give that feeling to other people. And you will also feel it yourself. You are a powerhouse. Your mind is a magnet. And you have the power to transform whatever is going on in your life right now. And let's download all the programs, all the feelings, all the resources that you need. Now, taking 2 breaths, breathing in, hold it at the top for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and breathe out. Well done. Do it once more, breathing in. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, and breathe out. And when you're ready, you can decide to come back with all of these resources that you choose to have and go forwards positively into your day. So when you're ready, just gently stretch, come up, open your eyes, and come back into the room.
Incredible. From my third eye to your third eye, Susie, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
That's beautiful. An online live meditation done by Susie Pearl. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome. It's a real pleasure.
Fantastic. Okay. Final question for you, Susie Pearl, an esteemed health and wellness advocate living in Ibiza.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, what is one thing that 2020 has taught you that you're going to take into 2021?
Yeah. 2020 has been a powerful year, and we are marking it as a year of chaos and disaster and so on. I'm marking it as a different year. I recovered from brain cancer and was after being told I had 6 weeks to live, and I've continued my health journey, having been given this massive wake-up call, and I'm still alive. So I'm incredibly grateful for this. And I spent 2020 feeling blessed and thinking about how I'm going to make my life stunning. And now I'm here and I'm in gifted life again after being told I would lose it. I mean, they were 100% certain I was going to die. So now I feel like I've got life back. So for me, it's 2020 has given me some stillness and some quiet and some downtime, which I've really appreciated. I've had a lot of ups and downs, like everyone, and a lot of intensity around all sorts of areas. But it's given me such strength, actually. It's made me feel like, oh, well, I've handled this, I can handle anything. I had to move out my house. I've moved house twice. And, all of these sorts of things has been very destabilizing. But also I found out who my friends are, my own strength, my own courage, my own ability to get through all sorts of things. I've already got through one thing, which is a life-threatening illness challenge. I feel like I can do anything now. And I think we can, for me personally, this has been a year of great challenge and great overcoming challenges. So within that, I've taken out a lot, and I've used my creativity a lot. And I look on this as an extraordinary year, very memorable indeed. I'm sure it's that for most people, but I'm going to code it as a powerful one and a positive one. That's how I'm going to code it.
Okay. I like it a lot. And powerful. So powerful, Susie. I really, 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 really appreciate you and taking the time to come have a chat with me in my living room and at the hub, for writing this book, for being you and doing everything that you do. The gratitude is through the roof. And if people want to find you, if they'd like to support, if they'd like to buy the book, because I think this is like the perfect Christmas gift, how can people find you, Susie? What's the easiest way?
Well, have a look at my site, which is susiepearl.com, and connect there. Or find me on Insta, Susie Pearl X. And I do, and sign up for my newsletter. I do a lot of courses, online stuff, Zoom calls, and all sorts of things to share my thoughts and ideas. I've done a lot of healing practice. I know, I've done theta healing, hypnosis, NLP, all sorts of different modalities. So I'm very keen to share my healing words and actions with others. So I'm very keen, and community is everything. We have to build strong communities and lean into one another at times like this. And then I've got a lot of tools to share. So I'd love it if people get in touch. So Instagram, through my site, and listen to my podcasts, which are available on all the usual podcast
cool.
things. So do get in touch.
Everything will be in the description box below. So I definitely want everybody to follow Susie for sure, because she is a worthwhile follow in a turbulent 2020 for sure. So Susie, with so much gratitude from my living room to you, I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who's watched us and joined us for an extra long edition of Café Diem, but one that is so worth it. And I hope you got a lot out of it as well. And like I say, Susie's details will be in the box below. And come and say hello to her, and come and say hello to Café Diem as well. And so next week, we're going to have another guest on the 16th of December. So Amy Collins, the Pilates Rebel. I'm sure you know her, Susie, because she works from the hub as well. And we continue on our well-being journey for the end of mid-December. Some special guests coming up in December as well. So stay tuned for that. But like I say, my heart is filled. My heart is filled with gratitude and appreciation for everything you do. And I'm really grateful that you took the time to have a conversation with us on Café Diem, Susie. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So adios, wishing everybody a wonderful Wednesday, Wellbeing Wednesday, and we will see everybody soon next week.
Yay.
Adios.